Hi guys. Okay, so today what we are going to do is a bunch of different segments. So first what I'm going to do is show you guys what I do when I apply my foundation and, what I do leading up to the foundation, what I do to help less transfer. So let's just dive right in. Let's get started. So, first thing I do, I have really bad combination skin between oily and dry. So what I do, I know you're not supposed to, but I get like a really, really low percentage of alcohol and I just dry out my really oily parts of my face, and if I have any blemishes on wherever, I'll put it on there. I've already done that, so I'm not going to show you guys that because I don't want to do too much and really dry out my face. Second thing is I use a Vino Baby with the blue cap. It's fragrance free, and it just really helps moisturize my face for the entire day. So I just use a little tiny bit, like a pea, no bigger, and I just kind of rub it in across my fingertips, or my fingers, and I just kind of get where I feel is the most dry on my face. And so yeah. And then this is just so whenever I'm applying my foundation, it's not gonna like have those weird little flyaway skins that are my driest part of my face. So then after that is all said and done and fixed and whatever, I use Kat Von D Tattoo Lock-It Foundation in Light 45. And I use just a regular foundation brush. I always reshape it after every use. A lot of people like to squirt it on your hand. I don't like to because I do use the lotion, and sometimes if I use too much I'll rub it around. So what I do and what I find works for me personally, so that way I'm not also wasting a bunch on my hand, is I just put right there, boom. And what I like to do is I start from my cheeks, do my cheeks, that includes my eyebrows and that little area right there, go all the way down, and then I start from bottom to top. So yeah. So then what I do is I blot everything, everywhere where I want covered in the immediate time for what I just pumped out. And then what you're going to be seeing me do a lot of is blotting around my eyes, because everybody has really sensitive skin around their eyes, but I feel like mine is like uber sensitive this time of year because my eyes are always watering and I don't want to make them water more than they already do. So then also make sure you're really getting all of the creases, your downward motions, and make sure you're going past your jawline so you don't get a thick layer of like what will turn orange, or a different weird color than what you originally want. So just go down, make sure all that is blended. And the reason for downward strokes, you guys, downward strokes will pin down all your baby hairs, and also for any extra little like hairs, or any extra little skins that maybe weren't moisturized well enough, or whatever the case may be, they will be pinned down instead of up and for everyone to see, being like, hey, I'm here, you have a bunch of makeup on your face and you didn't get me, ha ha ha, and then have it look really, really ashy and not what you want. Picturesque, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, downward motions pins down all the baby hairs, makes it so your pores don't get clogged. And bada bing, bada boom. Alright, so now had a tinier amount, and I'm going to do around my mouth. I start on my chin, and I go up. So here I just kind of blot because it's a smaller area, but I still blot in a downward motion. Just go back through, make sure you have all of the lines and everything. Now again, just a tiny amount for the nose. Blot, 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 and make sure you get up here, because that is still technically considered, at least to me, it's still technically considered part of my nose. So then, and then also make sure you get in between the little creases of your nose. That's always a big thing for me, is that's the first thing I notice, is the jawline and the nose right here. If someone doesn't have it blended well enough, or, you know, they've got dry skin right there and they don't apply it very well. Oh, I guess I need a little bit more for my forehead. So there we go. For the forehead, I guess you can kind of see. And again, blot. Start from the middle, work your way up, and then work your way back down. And then you can start pulling your downward motions. Make sure you're all up in that hairline, because you don't want it to be, especially if you're planning on wearing your hair up, you don't want it to be all noticeable and, you know, just weird looking. Alright, after that, put my little cap back in. And I just use the cap over and over again because I don't want it to spill in my bag and get everything all icky. So now I'm just using a pressed powder by Maybelline, the Fit Me brand, in 310. It's like a really, really ivory color, with more of like a pinky undertones than a yellow. And I'm just going to blot this on my face wherever I have foundation. So why I do this, and you can either use regular powder or pressed powder, you know, and always, for me, I've noticed using a shade lighter, especially lighter than what you use your foundation, will even out your skin tone really nicely, instead of putting on a bunch of really, really dark makeup that might possibly make you like 3 shades darker than what you really are. Which, especially if, you know, you're in a place like I am that doesn't get a lot of sun, it's always better to make sure you blend this area to your face more so than anywhere else on your body. And the reason why I'm blotting again is because I don't, since I have foundation on, I don't want to sit there and do dragging motions and pull all the baby hairs out of place. Because when you tug on those baby hairs, you're letting all of the makeup and grossness and dirt and whatever get into your pores, and that's what's ultimately gonna make you break out, along with touching your face throughout the day and letting other people touch your face, whatever food you get on your face. If you're like me, I'm a really messy eater. And so I'm just gonna go lower and just kind of shimmy it around. So, and then this is also good for transferring. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it helps decrease your chances of transferring onto like your boyfriend's shirt or another friend's shirt if you give her a hug, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So now I'm gonna go on to cheeks real quick. So for this, I like to use my Kat Von D pressed powder. in like a little compact like this. This is in medium 62 to define my cheeks, not necessarily like a brush. So that was just me dipping off all the excess, so it's not as like harsh of a color when I put it on, because see how much darker it is. I guess you can't really tell, it's not really good lighting, but it's extremely dark. When you put it on with just like a regular sponge, it looks orange. Let me just say that. I think it's probably like one of the darkest, deepest tones that Kat Von D has in this. Probably not, but for my skin tone, it's probably the darkest. It's like if you were to go on tanning for like every day for 5 months, the proper way of tanning at least. So then there's that, and then my highlighter is just a few random colors in my what is it, Makeup Academy palette from Sephora. So all I do is just mix 3 different shades of golds and then 2 shades of silver, and I just kind of do the same thing I did with the dark one, and do the same thing on the other cheek. And so again, looks like that when I have it on the brush. And yeah, so you just mark the top, like your actual cheekbone, instead of like in the middle where you want like the more defined look versus what you're highlighting. So you're highlighting your cheekbone by defining your cheeks and then putting the highlighter on your cheekbone. So then there is that. Okay. And then after all of that is said and done, I like to go through and just pat with the brush that I used with my original pressed powder, just to kind of dull everything down. And there we are. So that is the tutorial on how to do my foundation along with my highlighter and my blush. So stay tuned in. I'm going to show you guys my everyday look with my eyeshadow, eyeliner, and lashes, and then I'll do another tutorial on how to apply the lashes and what you can look for in lashes, so that way they don't lift, or you know, they're more comfortable for you to wear throughout the day. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks.